people gonna go to where they're comfortable at. That's just period. It don't matter what you do. If you want to start holding somebody accountable and that whole discipline and all that, if they don't like that, they are going to separate.
Hey guys, welcome back to the JK Way. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Mayo.
Probably by the time y'all watch this, it's gonna be after you done had a bunch of tequila and tacos.
Tacos and tequila.
But yeah, we're back with the the JK Way. I'm Jay.
And I'm Kay. And we hope that you guys are having a great day. We want to thank you guys for watching our last video. We got a lot of good feedback from the video. If you have not watched it, we were just confronting our daddy issues. So go ahead.
Or trying to.
or trying to, because he hadn't really dug into it yet. Which, after we talked about it, he said he's still trying to figure out if any, or where the issue lies, or what is the issue.
Right.
And that's totally fine too. So if you have not watched that video, make sure you go watch it after this one. Make sure you finish this one though. But yeah, so we're back today with another topic. Babe, you want to take over? What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about? Is it a man's world? And the premise of it is, like we say, that man has...
Let's just get into it.
Oh, okay.
So is it a man's world? Do you think it's a man's world?
I don't think it's a man's world, but what I don't, quote unquote, agree with is a man having a clear-cut advantage over a woman.
So you're saying you don't agree that men have a better advantage than women do?
Not no clear-cut, like
give me an example, because in my mind I have a lot of examples as to where a man, based on like society views, like where a man
and that's the issue within itself. Like, so let's take corporate America for example, right? Okay. We see a lot of men in leadership positions, or just corporate America is more populated with males, right? The angle that I look at stuff from is very, very holistically. Like, so we'll say like man A has an advantage over woman A, all right? And it's like, why do they actually have this advantage? Is it because that there's just more men in the industry and you go with what you know? Or is it somebody being sexist, or they're actually not qualified? Or do they feel like the woman has to work harder than the man to get where they're going, where at the same time, the man's probably working just as hard to get his position, but since it's a woman doing it, there's two things that happen, right? We say like, we could just say it's a black woman. We'll say like, oh man, this black woman had to fight 3 times as hard to get this position.
Which is usually true.
Right, yeah. But we always, and say she gets that position, which is great. But every time that happens, we always go back and say she had to work 3 times as hard, versus being like, good job, you work hard, you did what you were supposed to do. Now, how do you show the next woman how to do that? So, and then I'm gonna circle back to this, but that kind of makes me think about, like, as society, we throw things around all the time, these social norms or whatever. So one of the biggest social norms is the man's the breadwinner type thing. The man's the decision maker. Lead the household. Lead. But then we turn around and we say we don't have enough women in positions. We don't have enough representation in certain things. Like, men dominate this, men do that, but the woman doesn't get any credit.
Okay. So you're saying that society says the man is in charge, but then society also says that women have to work just as hard as men, or just as, because you said society puts all this emphasis on the man being the lead, he's being the strong one, the provider, this and that. But then you saying the same society is saying women aren't getting like elevation and promotion and this and that. So it's like you basically like, how do you say one is the lead but then complain that one isn't?
Not, basically.
Okay. So,
and that's not for just corporate America. That's for relationships. That's for pretty much anything where there involves man and woman interaction. Like we unconsciously, man's out front, and then we give extra congratulations. And don't get me wrong, people. I am not taking away from anybody's effort in this world. That's what I'm not doing.
Right.
I'm just trying to give a different perspective on what I think about society. I think about a lot of things very holistically. Like the example I always go to is a hamburger. You got the hamburger, you got the meat, you got the lettuce, you got the bun, you got the sesame seeds, you got the plate that the burger came on, you got the farmers that made all that, the people that baked the bread. I think about all of that instead of saying like
the restaurant. You don't just blame it on the restaurant. It's
for the analogy. I don't just blame it on the restaurant, but just that same perspective I put on a lot of things instead of just saying like, this happened because, for what we're talking about right now, this happened because I'm a woman. I'm like,
which sometimes that is the reason. But I think let's go back to the men, how society says men in leadership and
they also
women,
say women.
There's not enough women representation and this, that, and the third. So would you say that, do you think men and women are equal?
Yes. Yes, I think we're equal, but what I don't think we do is use our advantages, right? So, for example, right, past relationship I was in, computer science major, and to me, it's a white male dominated field. Well, it looks a little different in Atlanta, but generally speaking, it's a white male dominated field. And you have a black female trying to get into the industry, right? So, the way I think about it is use your disadvantage to an advantage, because.
So what does that look like?
Because people, unfortunately, the reality of the world, we don't deem women as fit to do certain things.
Okay.
So use your disadvantage as an advantage. So when your opportunity permits, you have to be.
You gotta show up and work 3 times as hard.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So why? Because ain't nothing changed. Like we talk about this over and over, years and years and years, and we keep saying like, we need more women. We need more women. So how do you explain? How do you get the women that have made it to lead by example for the women who haven't made it to make it, instead of, I didn't make it because I was competing with a male dominated industry because I'm a woman? Or did you not meet the standards? I know there's sexist people in the world. I know this. We know that these things that exist that create separation amongst people. We know that. We announce it. We say it every day. We talk about sexist, racist, LGBTQ, all these labels that separate people, instead of, for me, just looking at the person's character. Are you qualified or not? And that's it. And that are you qualified or not falls into corporate America, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, parent, this, that, and the third. And in the same society, we say, like I was saying earlier, the man leads, the woman follows. The man leads, the woman follows. Then we also say, well, there's not enough woman representation. Like, it's so confusing to me that we can acknowledge something that's obviously wrong, complain about it, see people actually make it to these positions that we complain about, but nobody, they don't follow suit. Like the one, like how, like just say Oprah, right? You have Oprah, probably one of the most wealthiest women, or just a person in the world. You know, people may say they don't agree with Oprah, or they may say this, that, and the third, but she's a woman that worked the system to the fullest capability. You know, how does she probably had, I don't know Oprah personally, obviously, but she probably has stories where she felt like being a woman did hold her back. Cool. We all got some version of something that's gonna hold us back.
Right.
You know, whether it be the way you look, whatever it is, there's always a version of something that's gonna hold us back. So how do you get more Oprahs, if you will? How do you get more women to be like, you know what? I don't care. You know, I'm a woman. I'm a strong woman. I'm gonna do what I gotta get done to get where I want to be. Because the men, we essentially do the same thing. There's just more of us competing for these less woman roles. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Less women like jobs or whatever it is. There's less women doing this particular thing. There's mainly men. Like you were telling me earlier about like the judges. And recently, I can't remember her name.
Katanya.
But recently there was a black female judge appointed or whatever that looks like, right? And the way I look at things is like, okay, how many actual black female judges are trying to be in her shoes or trying to compete with her?
I'm sure there's a good amount.
Right, but how'd she get there? Do you think she was like, I'm a woman, I don't have a chance? Or she was just like, I'm gonna keep knocking at this door until I get there?
And I think that's the thing. So I think there are a lot of women that are qualified to do a lot of things. I think what separates the ones that make it from the ones that don't is the ones who get tired of fighting.
But for what? Why get tired of fighting?
Because, I mean, we don't know what everybody's situations look like. We don't know what everybody's fight look like. And sometimes, I mean, have you ever gotten a fight or just been doing anything and then you just got tired of doing it? Like, bruh. Have you ever gotten a fight and then got tired in your fight?
No. But, no, for real. Like, if people people assume that I can fight because I was in the Marine and all that. I'm just not going to stop fighting. You're going to have to kill me. Straight up. But
we're not saying that.
Right, I know. I just
and just know he's a trained shooter, okay? He's a trained killer. He might not fight, but he's a trained, skilled killer. So don't try me, and don't try him.
But anyways, like the person pursuing their goal, right? I saw this video on Instagram, and the guy was like, if I gave you $10 million right now, would you accept it? Would it improve your life? And the couple or the people that they were talking to were like, yeah, of course. And then he said, well, if I give you this $10 million, you die tomorrow. And it's like, they're like, no, I wouldn't take that $10 million. Well, why can't you apply that same perspective? Like, you recognize how fast that $10 million will kill you. Why not value what you have with your life right now as if you're about to get that $10 million and pursue whatever you're about to do? No, like, because it's all, realistically, it's all an excuse at the end of the day, because we're always hollering about, you know, male versus female, black versus white, color versus whatever, but it's an excuse at the end of the day. And the same society, it's so weird, because the same society that says, like I said earlier, well, from what we talk about, men should lead, women should follow, are the same. It's the same society making the excuses. So when do we actually just hold ourselves accountable, living in the world that we're in, man or woman, regardless of advantages or disadvantages, and just get after it? Like, what is the real excuse? It's not the president. There's nobody, I hope not. I mean, there's nobody holding a gun to your head saying like, I will not allow you to be as successful as you want to be, or I will not allow you to dominate whatever thing that you actually want to do. Instead of, you know, putting on your boots, strapping them up or tying them up and getting after it, versus like every time a woman or a minority or something gets an accolade, it's always followed by almost like a statement as if they weren't who they were, it wouldn't have been as hard. You know what I'm saying?
Like, give an example.
Like we always say like, oh, the first, or say a female becomes CEO of a company. You know, hardworking female, blah, blah, blah. She had 1 million obstacles to hop over because she was a female. We always gotta like pull it back to because they were something that they were. Like, oh, she did this. Even guys, like, they did this, and this, but look where they came from. Versus like,
instead
congratulating,
just leaving it
congratulating.
Right
I wonder what they're gonna do next.
Yeah,
it's always congratulate, pull you back down,
right. And
remind you of what we look down upon.
Yeah. Now I mean I'm black, so I can only speak from the black experience. So I think it's just so many layers to all of that. At the end of the day, it all goes back to the crabs in the barrel type of thing, like pulling each other down, because that's just what was ingrained from slavery, of course. And so I think, it's not a good thing that we're like this. It's not good that our brother or our sister can rise to the top, and then we always got to bring back, well, this what they came from, or this what they did, or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why can't you just congratulate, like you said, and be like, okay, so what's next? But the whole idea, which stems from slavery, which a lot of this really comes from that, which at the end of the day, we can't control that. All we can do is do our best, but we have to, like you said, we have to let go of those excuses. And a lot of people like to rest in those excuses. A lot of people don't like the challenge. A lot of people don't like to be pushed outside of their comfort zone. And so when somebody is like, okay, you're good at something, do that. If it comes with some challenges, oh, the boss talking back crazy, oh, so-and-so this, so-and-so that, I'm a female, or I'm a male, or I'm black, or I'm white, you know, it's easier to take that route versus just doing what it is that you're good at or you're capable of doing. But I think it is an interesting thing that it's like we want to be on top, but then we don't really act like we on top. Like when you say like we want to be.
You speaking about women?
No, just people, like society. Like we want to be the Oprahs, we want to be the this and the that, but we also want to be the one who don't fight, don't push, or just want to have that excuse of, well, you know, I can't do that because I'm this or that. And it's like, how do you want to be up, but then you kind of want to be down at the same time because you're using those excuses to keep you down instead of just rising to the occasion. But
do you feel like in your industry of work and through your journey of becoming the entrepreneur that you are, do you feel like being a woman held you back in any way?
No, but I'm in a female dominated,
which is true.
I do hair, so you know.
Right, you do hair,
and I work with kids, and
right,
yeah,
and I get that. But your path to get, you're here now,
right?
But your path to get there, did that have to do with anything about being a woman?
I don't know, because I've only done that. I've only worked in hair salons. I've only worked at school, so.
Right, but I'm talking about the sacrifices you made, the catching 12 buses to get somewhere at 4:00 in the morning, the doing this, that, and the third to get to where you wanted to go. How do you I know everybody's not gonna go after it like that, but how do you put that into a person? Like, I've never heard you say, like, you told me, your journey, your path on how to get where you were, how to be an entrepreneur, how to be a boss, how to make sure I get what I want from people.
Right.
But I've never once heard you say, man, I couldn't do this because I'm a woman.
But what I've done is kind of geared towards being a woman. Like, that's not my, I personally have not had that experience where I've tried to climb a corporate ladder, or if I tried to do something to get me to the top. I created my own top. Like, I haven't had, but every job or every occupation, you have to climb. And so I personally have not had the experience where, not on the corporate level. Now, maybe in a store or something, like, okay, now I'm getting followed because I'm black, but I can just leave the store. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as something holding me back because of something that I am. You're saying, like, I've never said the whole, because I'm a woman, I can't do A, B, C, or D. But I haven't had that experience, and it could just be because of the field of work that I do.
So that goes back to my first point when we were saying, like, when I was saying, like, is it because because said woman wasn't qualified, or is she hopping into a male-dominated industry? And it just happens to be that we'll say 80% of the people are men, and we go with the prototype versus your field. Like, if I tried to go do the same thing that you did, I don't think I'd be as successful.
That's a lie. There are billions. I mean, I'm sure billions, but there are a ton of men who are dominating in the hair industry.
But you just like,
and that's my point. My point is, women can only dominate in the woman world. Okay, when it comes to a man, he can be in any area and he's good. But if a woman, if we wanted to call the hair industry a female thing, quote unquote, right? You put a man in there,
I guess.
And I'm not talking about barbers who cutting
hair industry,
but I'm talking braids, wigs, weaves, all of that. You put a man there, if he dope. Makeup, they say makeup is, you grow up, girls playing makeup, not boys type of thing. But if a man is bomb at makeup, they ain't saying, oh, you can't do this because girls are supposed to do this or women are supposed to do this. If they bomb, they get their credit and that's it.
But we do.
But
we do that on a smaller scale.
What you mean?
We do that. You're saying, like, you can't do this because you're, like you were saying, like, we don't say you can't do this because they're a male. Like, you shouldn't be bomb and makeup because you're a man. But we literally just did that to our nieces and nephews when he tried to. I know they're babies, but we already tried to condition them like that's for girls.
Right. No, and that goes back to the whole society just in general. Like when you were saying, like, society says they want this and this. My thing is, all I'm saying is, if I kind of do think sometimes it is a man's world, and it's not because women don't want it to be our world too. It's like I said, a man can be placed in any occupation, and if he good at it, that's it. That's it. But a woman, it's not the same. She has to.
Well, if she's already in because we talk about everybody that's made it, right? So with that same thing you said, like, why is it like what? It's almost like we don't congratulate the person for their sacrifice to get there where they're going. We're congratulating them because they look different from the norm, which I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
Say that again?
So, like with the judge example, yes, we're happy she's a judge, but we're congratulating her because she's the female judge that made it versus like, nah, like you just said, like if it's a male in any industry, the male just gets treated as, oh, they're dope.
Right, and versus, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying why, for the woman, it's not that, and why? That's the whole thing I'm saying. And that's what goes back to, I think, the whole it's a man's world. I think people really live by that, and it's not fair. And women are always 2 steps behind because we can't. A man could be in, like I said, in any industry, and as long as he's good, that's it. But you put a woman in that same role, like you was talking about IT or whatever. You put a woman there, it's, well, she's good because this, or she did this because this, when if a man do it, he just do it and that's it. So it's like, as much as people say it's not a man's world, I mean, the reality is, as a woman, we are fighting. We're fighting. If you're a black woman, you're fighting because you're a black woman. If you're
are you really fighting though? That's my whole thing.
It's like in certain.
But are we really fighting anymore? Like we
well,
live.
You might not.
No, but seriously, like we live in a country where we know there's racism, we know there's sexism, we know there's all type of, I'm probably gonna butcher this word, discriminatory. I don't know. Things that discriminate against people. Yeah, a whole bunch of isms. We know they exist.
Right.
And we constantly talk about, we're doing it right now. We constantly talk about them. We constantly say what's holding somebody back. To be quite fair, I personally think whether you're black, white, male, female, I really think people that have, if we're talking about advantages and disadvantages, people that grow up like dirt poor have it like the worst. Like that don't matter if you
what color, race, or anything.
Because there's gonna be a point in time, male, female, black, white, you're gonna rub, like if you're trying to climb that elite ladder, we're talking about corporate stuff right now, or entrepreneurship, even that, like you're trying to climb that ladder, you're gonna rub elbows with people we'll just do it like this, people that's middle class, people that's upper echelon, and then you're gonna keep doing what you gotta do to get where you need to go, instead of saying like, I mean, y'all say I'm a coon or whatnot. I get it. There's things that were in place.
Wait, what's a coon?
That
sounds very negative.
It is negative.
Oh.
It's basically like Uncle Tom, or like a black person that's like.
Was that a racist term? Are you being racist?
No, I'm not being racist. So if for example, if Kanye said slavery was a choice, they call him a coon.
Hey Google, what's a coon?
It might not answer.
Coon has 2 different meanings. Starting with the most common one, coon can be used as a noun in Northern American English to mean short for raccoon.
Yeah, it's
Is
not.
that the meaning you were thinking of?
No.
Never mind.
I want to hear the second one.
Good.
Got it. Finally, coon can be used as a noun as an offensive term to mean a black person. Do you want to hear how coon is spelled?
No.
Anyway, people know.
It's derogatory.
Yeah, it's derogatory. It's basically you a white man in black skin. Okay. Right? So we kudos to all the people fighting for rights and stuff. Great. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying where we in right now, right? There's not somebody holding a gun to your head 24/7 stopping you from doing what you want to do. Are there boundaries in place that may hinder you? Yes. Everybody has some type of struggle, even if you are growing up rich or if you are growing up poor. Like everybody has some type of struggle along the way. So when do we stop saying like,
Basically, like, when do we redirect our energy?
Yeah, when do we stop pointing the finger at all the obvious disadvantages that were put here? Like, being a woman. Like, when do we stop saying, like, she's not there because she's a woman, and look at it all like clean slate? Like, she's not there because of, statistically speaking, most men are here, and a lot of women just don't apply for these things. Mm-hmm. Like, when do we stop saying, like, man, I always said this, like, I didn't grow up in the worst areas, didn't grow up in the best. We were, regular. So, when do people realize, like, they make their environment, right? Regardless of how you redline it, regardless of how you push people out. I know exposure is everything, being exposed to things, but if we can consciously know, right? If we consciously know the way they look or the way their gender is holding us back, because everybody knows it. Everybody says, like, something's holding me back. Something's holding me back. Why not address it? At a personal level, we can't rely on society, politics, world leaders. Like, why not attack it head on versus, like, because for me personally, like, if you know you have disadvantages, right? Whether it's male, female, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. If you know you have disadvantages, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna change for you. Like, the day you decide that I'm gonna pursue my dream, okay, well, here's your dream, and here's the fence you gotta jump over, here's the barbed wire you gotta climb over,
right.
Here's the obstacle here, here's a bad relationship there, here's some sketchy person you met over here, here's whatever obstacle in the way that if that person makes it, and they are of a minority status, since we talk about women, if they're a woman, they're gonna say, oh man, that's great for a woman. It's like, what did the hurdles that she had to jump over, except for things pertaining to somebody being sexist, but we know that's there, congratulate their journey, yeah. Versus constant reminder of there's not enough of you, or we can't put faith in you because of who you are. There's not enough of you. There's not enough of you. Why don't we have enough of you? Because we constantly remind people of the bad. Like, not that being a woman's bad, I'm not saying that at all, but that's what we do. We let them get there, and then we, like, badger them, throw stuff at them. They made it. Yeah. They made it, but you made it, but.
Right. So what would you say, how does this get solved?
How does it get solved? Accountability.
Okay, which is good.
Accountability and discipline. Something I learned in the good old Marine Corps.
Right, which both of those words are very, very touchy to people. People do not like to be held accountable, and they don't like, what was the other thing you said?
Discipline.
Discipline. Like, those two things will literally change your life, or not, but I think people have issues with those two things, and if people were holding each other accountable and why do I keep forgetting the other one? Oh, being disciplined. Yeah. Like, if people did those things, the whole world would be totally different. But people don't like to rise to the challenge. I think that's overall what it is. People don't like to rise to the challenge, and it could be because their day-to-day lives are challenged with whatever is going on around them, and I don't really know if there's a way to fix it. Like, I mean, you can fix it within your small circles.
That is how you fix it.
Yeah, but
that's exactly how you fix it.
But what I'm saying is, because those two things, accountability and discipline, are so touchy, you can have a circle, and as soon as you start doing that, people gonna go to where they're comfortable at. That's just period. It don't matter what you do. If you want to start holding somebody accountable and that whole discipline and all that, if they don't like that, they are going to separate, and then they're gonna go to whoever makes them feel comfortable.
You get a new circle.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that people cannot be held accountable and disciplined. What I'm saying is it's hard to start that because the people who don't like it, they're gonna leave, and so it's like there are gonna be people leaving. So how overall is it something that can be solved, or is it something that within your community, which your community can be your friends, your community can be your block, it could be your job, whatever it is. That's kind of where it might start and it might end. Only because, and I'm only saying that because, like I said, have you ever tried to hold somebody accountable to something and they feel a kind of way and then they don't want to talk to you no more, or whatever the case is?
Yeah, that's pretty much how relationships end.
And that's what I'm saying. And so it's like, so how are you teaching that? But basically everybody has to want to do it. And I don't know if we'll ever get to that point as a human race that everybody wants to be held accountable and everybody is disciplined, because one, if everybody was that, a lot of things would be out of business. Like if everybody was disciplined, there probably wouldn't be lipo doctors, this doctor, you know what I'm saying? Well, so many people would be without jobs because of people being disciplined and holding each other accountable. But I don't know if this is something. Do you think it can be fixed as a whole?
As a
universe,
society?
Yeah.
Yeah, if people actually want to be accountable.
But with like knowing people.
I mean, well, we could say knowing people and.
Because I'm just trying to make sure you're not like being naive to the situation.
No, I'm not being naive. I am just trying to get people, like, there's somebody gonna watch our video right now. They're gonna look at us and be like, for one, they're probably gonna think we're better than them. They're gonna watch the video. Say it's not somebody we're close with. They're gonna be like, oh, they done did what they did, so they think we can talk about this stuff.
We're trying to teach them a thing. Well,
right, trying to teach them a thing or two.
Tell them, not teach them. Yeah,
right, trying to teach them a thing or two.
Which is not the case.
It's not the case at all.
Definitely still learning this thing.
We still on the grind, just like everybody else. But people are gonna look at it and be like, they'll throw something out there, something negative, just for the sake of throwing something negative, instead of saying like, oh, how'd they get there?
Right.
You know.
Right.
How the Bakersfield and the Augusta get there? How do we end up in the sitting right here? And clearly I'm a man, and clearly you're a beautiful female.
Thank you.
How do we get to the same spot in life? It ain't got nothing to do with me being a black man.
Yes, it do, because I wanted a black husband.
Well, clearly, like.
I'm just playing.
Right, and I really feel like it doesn't have.
I just think we're two individuals who, like, whatever journey you were on, before I even knew you, whatever journey I was on, I was just taught, like, to work hard for what you want. Like, go after what you want. Don't stop till you make it, type of thing. And I, for the most part, I mean, we complain and stuff like that, but I don't really have like a tolerance for excuses to a degree. Some stuff I understand. Don't do that, because I think some stuff, I think it's really the Marine in him, because I wonder if you thought this way before you went to the Marines. Like, because when I say that, because
Wait, why? Thought what way before the Marines?
Like had a zero excuse, like tolerance.
Oh yeah, I thought like that way before the Marine Corps.
Oh, see, well, I didn't.
When I knew I wanted to be a Marine, I knew I had to be a Marine. I always like emphasized maximum effort. Like if it was something,
literally is like that. And
if it's something you want to do,
some stuff.
Yeah, like yeah.
If you don't do max and all the stuff.
Yeah, I'm not the maximum effort YouTuber. I'm not the maximum effort affectionate guy. I'm working on that, okay?
Yes,
I can put a little more effort, but I'm working on it. But for things that I wanted, like for example, right? When me and my friends decided we wanted to be Marines, we did dumb stuff. Like throw cinder blocks into a pool, 10-foot pool, swim down there, go get them, put them back on top of the pool. We used to push ourselves a lot, knowing that this was something we wanted to pursue.
And hold on, pause real quick.
What?
Do you have any examples that's not physical? Because I think when it comes to your physical.
I went to college. College was so hard.
Yeah, I went to college too. It was hard.
It was, so coming from the Marine Corps, and I'm not even talking about studying and stuff, like the actual school aspect. It was accepting the fact that I basically have to start over. Like, I have to relearn another world again. Like, I gotta come back to civilian world.
Because you went to the Marines first and then went to college.
Right. So I gotta come back to the civilian world. I gotta go to class with some kids that don't respect the teachers sometimes, and I can't just tell them to shut up because society gonna look at me like a weirdo. That actually happened. I turned around and told some kids to shut up, and they're not even kids.
Right.
I just happened to be like 23, 4-ish, and they were probably like 18, 19. And I turned around, I was like, bro, can y'all shut the hell up? Like, the teacher is clearly trying to talk.
But I wonder if you would have had the same energy before you went to the Marines, because in high school, were you on that, y'all, the teacher talking, or was you one of the ones talking?
I was one of the ones talking because I knew how to work the system. Man,
So
if you went to public school in Augusta, Georgia, it didn't matter how good or bad of a student you were. If you went to class and wasn't like a straight up a-hole, you was gonna graduate. That's not even like.
But where's the whole? That's why I'm saying that this stuff come after the Marines, because where's the whole discipline and accountability? You're saying you can just F up in the classroom when you was doing that in high school because you knew the system. That's not discipline.
For one, school's free.
Okay.
You going to school free, and you have to go to school.
Okay.
You have to go to school.
Right.
My goal, I'm talking about applying discipline to your goals. Mm-hmm. My goal was not to be the best high school student. My goal was just to play football, keep the grades. I made sure I had my grades. I played football. Was I disrespectful to teachers sometimes? Yes. But I was disciplined enough to make sure my grades were A's and B's so my mama don't yank me off the football team because I love football. I did what I had to do to play football.
Okay, but that same approach is what a lot of people in the world do. That you said you were disciplined in what you needed to do what you wanted to do. And when you were in high school, you wanted to play football. So you knew that you had to get the A's and B's to play football.
Right.
That's all you were focused on. You wasn't focused on being the best in the class. You wasn't focused on being the teacher's pet. You were just focused on, which is why you was talking and carrying on in class, because you just wanted to make sure you got good grades for football, right?
Okay.
Okay. There are people in the world who don't want to excel in everything. They just want to do just enough, like you did, just enough to play football. They just want to do just enough to survive. They just want to do just enough to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom house, whatever their just enough is, which goes back to the whole, that accountability, discipline thing looks different for everybody, because one group or one set of people can want to be disciplined and they want to be at the top. But when I look at you, and when I was in school, I would have looked at you like you trying to be a class clown. I would have been telling you, you was telling the people in college to shut up. I would have been telling you shut
that
up.
Cost thousands of dollars.
No, but in high school, that was me. Like, bruh, why? Shut up! You hear the teacher talking. Why you being disrespectful? We had 2 levels of discipline.
That's fair. I get what you're saying, but
what I'm saying is,
as far as being disciplined, we're talking about a kid, and I'm talking about
I was
adults and a grown, capable adult complaining with excuses to not strive for a better life for themselves.
But what I'm telling you is, remember I asked you, I wonder if you thought this way before you went to the Marines or not. And
yes, I said yes, and I backed it up.
Yeah, but you said you were disciplined, which is nothing wrong. I'm not saying you said anything wrong. I'm trying to draw it back to you're like, you thought this whole issue can be solved as a whole. And I was saying it can be solved within certain groups, but I don't think as a whole, because some people are disciplined how you were in high school, how I just need to do enough just to get this. And some people are disciplined in the way you are after the Marines. Like, there is no excuse. I'm gonna get exactly what I want when I want it, and there is no excuse. So some people in the world have that mentality when it comes to discipline. Some people have your high school mentality when it comes to discipline. And so it's not a thing of like everybody can't always be on the same page, because some people only want, and I'm just saying 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom house, just because that's like the typical white picket fence type of thing. Like, some people only want to be disciplined enough to do that.
Which is fine. So I'm not.
But those same people, because that's all they're trying to do, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be looking at the next person or mad or saying, why can't I, like, because they're only disciplined in what they know to do.
Well, no. So what you're saying is somebody they meet their minimum standard for life. That's what they want.
Right.
But then they look at the next person and say, like, I can't get to where they're going. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, because you were just saying, like, the whole pulling. You were saying that everybody can basically be on the same playing field.
Yes, everybody can get where they want to go if they actually want to go there. Like, if they want to go there, they can get there. If they really wanted to go there, they could get there.
But what if their goal there is only limited to what they
desire?
Or they desire what they know.
What do you mean? Like, because it sounds like you're saying, like, basically you measure your own success. Like, if you wanted a penthouse suite or a single family home, and that's what you wanted and you got it, and then you stop, and then you're mad at the next person?
No, it was just about the whole level of discipline. It wasn't about somebody being mad.
Like, if they got to their goal that they wanted, I could say that they were disciplined enough, they held themselves accountable and got to where they wanted to go.
Excuse me. I think we're starting to get mixed up in the whole idea.
So what
I'm saying is, when I asked you, do you think as a whole, the whole no excuse thing could go away if everybody was held accountable and disciplined? Would that all go away?
Then no, yeah.
But I was asking you because I don't feel like it'll all go away. But I think it can be changed within your, like I said, community. But I asked you from the beginning. I don't know. I don't want to start getting all twisted and people getting confused about this whole thing.
I feel like if people hold themselves accountable and we hold others accountable, and we are disciplined at what we're trying to achieve, that starts with you. You affect the next person. Then you affect the next person. That might not be the people in your circle. It might be somebody that's watching you from afar. I've had Marines throughout the years just come hit me up randomly like, yo, I love what you're doing, bro. You motivate me. Some of those guys, I probably talked to them 3 or 4 times on base as a high and by, and we PT together.
Right.
So that's how you accountable. Like, I'm big on if you for major things, right? Like, if you tell me you gonna wash dishes and you happen to not wash dishes, I'm like, dang, why you wash dishes? And then whatever, wash dishes. But when you say you want to do this thing that could, we'll just say, change your life, I'm gonna be like, okay, you doing that thing? You told me you was gonna do it. Because a lot of times, especially if it's my friends, or people that I'm really close with, if they're trying to do something, I want to help. It might just be.
Let's go back to accountability. So, do you think that you hold your friends accountable?
Yes.
What does that look like?
Checking in, seeing how their stuff is going. Are they doing the things they said they were going to do? Did they at least attempt the things they were saying they're going to do? Maybe they attempted something and failed, but they kept trying to do something else.
So, when they don't do the thing that they said that they were going to do, what do you do as their friend?
what do you need me to do, bro? How can I help?
How is that holding somebody accountable? That's offering assistance.
Bro, so it's...
We're talking about accountability.
I know we're talking about accountability. So I have friends in different industries. I have friends that are still trying to find their way, but they'll do something for some years and they'll do something else. I got friends that are, some friends are still trying to find their way. I don't find anything wrong with it. That goes back to the journey to get there. All their end goals at the end of the day is be the best of whatever it is they're gonna be.
Right.
So for me holding them accountable is whatever path they're in right now, right? Say they were in car sales. Boom. Talk to them. Yo, how's the sales going? Yo, you good? Like, hey, if I got some referrals, I'll send them to you. How are you doing? Is everything straight? Bada boom, bada bam. And they'll be like, all right, man, like I'm not really feeling it. Cool. Okay, what's the next plan?
But
I'm just holding them accountable. Like, I may not be holding them accountable to a specific thing, like car sales, but I'm holding them accountable to bettering themselves, regardless of how that path looks. Whether they jump from job A to B to C to D, they can go all the way over here. But as long as they get here at the top of what they're trying to do, I'm forward. Like, whatever that path looks like, even if they make a star and they get to where they say they want to be, cool. How can I help you get there? If you want my help, I'm not going to force myself on you. And help could be any form. Just like I was saying, just talking or whatever. And then checking in on them. Like, yo, how's this thing? Bada boom, bada bam. Oh, this is great. Cool. You know, it's not, I'm not holding them accountable to this singular thing per se. I'm holding them accountable to continue to move forward regardless of what that path looks like. But there's gonna be a part 2 of this, guys, because I didn't ask the other stuff I wanted to talk about. So it'll make it like a whole nother video.
Yeah,
we're gonna make a whole nother video. Don't want it to be too long.
No, I'm saying it might not be a part 2. It just might be a separate.
Oh no, it's a part 2 to the initial topic of is it a man's world? Type thing.
We kind of start getting.
I mean, that question is very broad.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different angles to look at. But hopefully we opened you guys up to some of the dialogue that I have with some of my friends and wanted to have the same conversation with my wife and share it with you guys.
Sometimes we have the same perspective. Sometimes we have different. And so coming on here, chatting with y'all to kind of put that out there and kind of see where y'all fit in on that and like what's y'all outlook.
Definitely chime in on in the
please.
comments.
Some of our friends, they'll text us separately.
Right, outside of it.
Yeah, like please,
put it in the
if
comments.
you can, just drop it in the comments just so we can keep everything in one space and we can come back on there and reply back and kind of just get some dialogue going. We kind of want to connect with y'all on a deeper level. Hence the last video we did, and this one is even a little more like, you know, a little touchy, but not in a
even more relatable.
Yeah. So we just want to, you know, add a little razzle dazzle to our videos from time to time, because we be having stuff to talk about sometimes. Just sometimes. Sometimes it's fun and games, and sometimes it's like, all right, let's sit down on the couch, on the bench, and let's talk to the people. So. We hope that you guys have made it this far into the video. And we will see y'all soon. If y'all have not purchased business attire merch,
oh dang, I got one.
Just go to the website, businessattireapparel.com. Please follow us on Instagram at the JK Way. I think we'll probably be maybe sometime in the summer, maybe doing a giveaway or something.
Yeah, we can work it out, arrange it, and then go from there.
We can do a giveaway, so y'all want to make sure that y'all following us. Y'all want to make sure that y'all subscribe to the page. And let me tell you, we like to give good gifts, okay? So make sure you're following. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you told your cousins, family, mama, daddy, them. Like, share, comment, like, just do that for us, please. But yeah, we will be doing some kind of giveaway this summer, so Yeah, y'all don't want to miss out. If nothing else, Jay.
Hey, that's it for me.
That's it, guys.
That's it for me. All right, until next time. Peace.